Good morning. Happy Saturday. Played poker last night. Drank a lot of rye. Ended up down $10, but that's fine. I think I could afford it. So this morning, it's brought to my attention that I made a horrible mistake, and SB 145 doesn't say what I think it says. It's only for kids that are over the age of 18, or over the age of 14. Because as soon as you get to a kid who's under the age of 14, then it changes. It's now a felony, and the California Sex Register Act doesn't apply to those, or the new Act SB 145 doesn't apply to those. And I also totally misunderstood cuties, and it's just a coming of age story about what girls are just doing naturally, emulating the sexualized nature of the adults that they watch. It's natural. And to both of those arguments, I say, go fuck yourself. First of all, even if this new SB 145 bill would only be applied to people who have sex with minors that are 14 and up, even if, that's still a terrible thing. So no, that doesn't make me feel any better. However, the way the law works is that usually for various crimes there are levels of penalties, and there's this thing called a plea bargain. And so what happens is, instead of going to court and risking being put away on a felony, people plead down to misdemeanors. And now in the past, if you pled down to a misdemeanor for raping, it's got to be consensual. It's not rape. It's statutory rape. Fuck you. Kids can't consent. But if you were facing a felony charge for statutory rape, then you could always plead it down to the misdemeanor, because that's what you do instead of risking the trial. Quit pulling. I know there's a dog there. Instead of risking the trial and perhaps going to jail for a much longer period of time, you could always plead down. And so that is going to continue to happen, kids. That is going to continue to happen. As to whether or not the judge has discretion, well, the judge didn't have discretion before. If you statutorily raped a minor, the judge did not have discretion before. You were put on that sex offender registry list, and I think for good cause, because, well, that's the way it should be. Come on, I know. So now there is still a provision in the law, in California law, that allows judges to place people on the sex offender registry if they commit a crime that isn't technically one of the rapey crimes, but they do it with the intent to get sexual gratification. And that's fine. That can still come into play. Now, the problem with that is, of course, we're now relying on judge discretion. And trust me, I'm an attorney. Judges make mistakes. That's why there are appellate judges. That's why there are Supreme Court judges. That's why every once in a while the legislature has to come back in and rewrite laws to undo judicial mistakes. Well, I guess to prevent judicial mistakes from continuing, I should say. Because technically it doesn't undo the decision that was made in the past. It's still a valid decision. Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. So eat a bowl of go fuck yourself. And then as to the coming of age story for the cuties that one of my viewers, who previously I thought was a fairly intelligent person and well-grounded, maybe he still is fairly intelligent, but I'm certainly not going to take any movie advice from him. He, kids are just viewing what adults do, and they're just emulating. It's a coming of age story. Well, let me tell you a story about when I was in first grade. I got just about every girl that lived in the neighborhood behind the bushes, and we all looked to see what each other had. And that was a fun time. I was a first grader. But I don't think we should be making movies about that. I think that's a pretty common experience. I think most people have gone through that exploratory phase when they were adolescents. And that doesn't mean you make a movie about it. That doesn't mean you promote that movie with sexualized covers. That doesn't mean that it does, just because the kids are wearing crop tops and shorts for most of the movie, mostly peaceful protests too, I'm assuming, but just because the kids are wearing crop tops and shorts for most of the movie doesn't mean that it is still not sexualizing those children. Anyway, I never said Cuties was child porn, but it's still pointing in the direction of things to come. Finally, QAnon. I don't buy into any QAnon bullshit. The law I cited is real. Plea bargaining is real. Judges making mistakes is real. And you mark my words, there will come a time when someone who's an adult, 20-year-old adult who has sex with a 10-year-old, it's completely, the child consented. You mark my words, one of those will come and it'll be in the newspapers and people will be all, oh gosh, that's terrible. You wait for it. You just wait for it. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Try to pull your heads out of your asses before you make comments, and have a great day.